Ladies and gentlemen, today we have a bunch of massive news to get into that all pertains to the gaming world and is kind of covering a wide range of topics. We have some Cyberpunk news, we have a Switch 2 game leak, and we have some updates from Capcom. So let's just go ahead and get right into this video. So this is kind of something strange to mention, but for like the past week when I've been recording videos, after like 4 or 5 minutes in, I've been getting like really anxious and feeling like I'm gonna pass out and like the ring light's making me go blind or something. And I finally figured out what the problem was. I just got this hat and I never adjusted the size, like the little thing you can snap on the back, and the hat was squeezing my head way too freaking tight. So it was just squeezing my head and I'm staring into this super bright light. So after a few minutes of that, I'm basically just trying to make myself pass out. So I finally adjusted the back of my hat and I finally feel like a normal human again. Weird. But now that we've covered that super important information, we have some leaks and some news to get into. So before we get started, if you could, hit a like and subscribe. I just want to say thank you for all the support lately. Feels weird, like getting constant support, but it's cool, so thank you. And let's go and get right into this video. So first, let's start with some Cyberpunk news. Like, this game is a very polarizing game. The whole time leading up to this game, we were like, oh my god, this looks so groundbreaking. And the way they were marketing it is this is going to be the most impressive video game of all time. And this is the same creators of The Witcher, so you're like, yeah, there's definitely going to be something there. And when Cyberpunk launched, well, it launched. That's all we can really say. The game was out, but Lord have mercy, it had some bugs and glitches. Me, myself, I never played Cyberpunk until this year, and I played it on the PS5. Not only did I enjoy it, it's one of my top, probably 3 games I've ever played in my life. I became so attached to the characters and the setting, and it's so special. I need to play the DLC because I heard the DLC is better than the base game, so I've kind of been holding that off because I don't want the adventure to be over. But we have an update today for the future of Cyberpunk. Cyberpunk 2077 sequel will feature photorealistic textures. A new job listing at CD Projekt Red hints that the Cyberpunk 2077 sequel could have more photorealistic textures. I'm not going to go through all of this, I thought it was going to be very brief, but here's the actual job listing. Creating high quality 3D models fitting Project Orion aesthetic, maintaining and improving production and optimizing pipelines, being a knowledge base for other artists. Seems like they have a nice like team structure going on over there. But yeah, that's great news. I'm pretty sure I read somewhere that Phantom Liberty was like the only DLC we're getting for Cyberpunk, but then I seen a leak somewhere saying that there's more DLC coming. Regardless, the future of Cyberpunk looks bright. If you never played the game because of the original way it came out, well, I would recommend that you actually give it a chance now because it might surprise you. Now let's get into some Capcom news. And my shirt actually couldn't be more fitting. This is a Mega Man shirt, and that's what we're here to talk about. Capcom recently revealed its plans for the long-running Mega Man series, which has not received a mainline entry since 2018. I believe that was Mega Man 11. I actually recommend that game all the time. It's like $20 physically on the Switch, and it's actually pretty fun. Known as Rockman in Japan, the original Mega Man came out for Nintendo Entertainment System in 1987. Despite Mega Man being among Capcom's most in-demand franchise, the latest game in the series hasn't received a true follow-up. The company has, however, gone on record to explain that it is still planning to work on the beloved franchise. During the questions and answers portion of the 45th Ordinary General Meeting of Capcom shareholders that took place on June 20th, the Japanese video game giant said that it was considering how it could create games for the Mega Man series on a more regular basis. Capcom said in previous meetings with investors that it would carefully consider how to approach future Mega Man games. And they actually have a little stat right here, and it says total Mega Man has sold over 41 million games as a franchise. That's actually pretty impressive when you think there's like 11 mainline games and then all the little spin-offs. There's probably like 2 or 3 million copies sold per game, which is actually a really good number. I know Mega Man isn't for everybody, but it's one of the OG game characters, and I would like to see that, I guess, more in the future. You know, you have like Mario, Sonic, Mega Man, I don't know, maybe some old stuff like Crash Bandicoot and Spyro, just the OG game characters. I would really like to see them go forever. Obviously, Mario is going to be there forever, so Mega Man or Rockman, whatever you want to call it. I would like to see more Mega Man. If you're a fan of Mega Man, let me know in the comments below. And that kind of snowballs into the Switch 2 news because Mega Man is made by Capcom. The Switch 2 game that we're talking about is also from Capcom. So I've translated this right here, but I'm pretty sure this is from the same shareholder meeting as the Mega Man news. Investors have asked Capcom if the new Monster Hunter would be launched on the Nintendo device. The answer has been that several of the concepts incorporated in the new installment aim to portray the world of Monster Hunter to maximum with the latest technology, which currently, and this is the main word right here, currently, can only be used on PlayStation 5, Xbox Series, and PC. Many people are underlining the word currently, assuming that Monster Hunter Wilds will arrive on the new Nintendo Switch console. Do you think this will be one of the launch games for the Switch 2? And if you had to ask me, straight out without dragging this along, yes, I would. Monster Hunter Rise. I would love to see the sales for it on the Switch, but I would assume it's one of the best selling Switch games. Maybe not in the top 20, but I would say at least in the top 50. And you gotta think there's 12,000 games on the Switch. To be in the top 50, highly impressive. It's always on sale in the eShop for 10 or 15 bucks. Then you can get the DLC for another $10, and it's an amazing game. It looks and runs amazing on the Switch. And it's weird. I didn't know that much about Monster Hunter, I guess, before the Switch. I would always see the series here and there, but I always just assumed it was strictly only on Nintendo consoles. So just imagine if this game is going to be on the Xbox Series consoles and the PS5, and if it could run on the Switch too. We'll just think how great the quality of the Switch 2 is actually going to be. But we have to remember, just because the Switch 2 is going to be more powerful than the Switch, we're still going to have the same case as this game is on other consoles, but it's also on the Switch, but since it's on the Switch, it doesn't look as good or it doesn't run as good. I'm sure we're going to run into that same issue with the Switch 2. It's this game is on the PS5 and the Xbox Series consoles, but it's also on the Switch too, but it doesn't look as good as the other consoles. I'm sure we're going to have that same issue for some games, but I'm still highly optimistic about the power of the Switch 2, especially when you see games like this coming to the console. Ladies and gentlemen, what do you think about all this information? Are you a fan of Cyberpunk? Have you ever played it? If you've been on the fence, I'm here to recommend it to you. Mega Man. Do you care about Mega Man? I'm not saying it's the greatest franchise, but I like Mega Man, it's cool. And Monster Hunter. Have you ever played any of these games, and are you excited for the Switch 2? In the comments below, let me know your thoughts and opinions. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram if you could. I would really appreciate a follow, and we are finally growing on both platforms. It's so freaking cool. And you guys know me, I'll see you soon with a new video. Peace out.